All right, let's talk about something really important. What's the actual health of your organization? And no, I'm not talking about the bottom line, profit and loss. I'm talking about something deeper, the web of relationships that really holds everything together. Today, we're going to unpack a blueprint, a game plan for measuring and, more importantly, strengthening those connections. So let's just dive right in. I want you to ask yourself this. How healthy are the relationships in your organization? Seriously, think about it for a second. From that brand new hire all the way up to your most important client, are those connections solid? Or are there maybe some cracks forming just below the surface that you're not seeing? Yeah, that's a tough one to answer, right? It's complex. But what if I told you there's a powerful tool out there, one that can actually untangle all that complexity for you? And it doesn't just give you a diagnosis, like, here's what's wrong. It gives you a real roadmap for making things better. Well, that tool is called an engagement audit. And the best way to think about it is like a full, comprehensive health checkup, but for the relationships in your organization. It's a really systematic way to look at how well you're actually connecting with your people. And it all boils down to three things: strengthening communication, boosting participation, and, the big one, building trust. Okay, so a really solid, robust audit isn't just thrown together. It's built on 10, let's call them pillars. And to make it easy to follow, we've broken them down into a few key stages. This is the complete blueprint. So where do we start? Well, like any good building, we start with the foundation. All right, part one, laying the foundation. And look, this is so important. Just like with any big project, the way you start an engagement audit can make all the difference. It's the difference between getting real, meaningful results or ending up with just a pile of data that doesn't help anyone. This all kicks off with three absolutely non-negotiable steps. First up, you've got to define your scope and objectives. You can't try to boil the ocean here, right? So are you looking at employee morale or maybe client satisfaction? You have to get specific. Second, you need a plan, a rock-solid plan. That means writing down your goals, your timeline, what resources you'll need. Just get everywhere on the same page from the get-go. And third, and listen, this one is absolutely crucial, you have to ensure you can actually do it. You only accept an audit you know you can complete with total competence and integrity. So why are we obsessing over these first few steps? It's simple: credibility. This is where you build it, right from the outset. When people see that you've got a clear, well-thought-out, principled approach, they do more than just participate. They start to buy in, and that trust, that's everything. Okay, so our foundation is solid. Now what? What tools do we actually use to get this done? This brings us to the second part of our blueprint, the modern audit toolkit. This is all about how you gather and analyze information in a way that's actually effective and transparent. Look, in today's world, technology is basically your superpower for an audit. Things like cloud computing, it makes everything seamless. And artificial intelligence, AI, it can comb through thousands of comments and find patterns a human would never spot. Then you've got smart analytics that can take all that raw data and turn it into a story you can actually understand. This isn't just about speed, it's about seeing things you would have completely missed otherwise. But here's the thing. You can have the fanciest tech in the world, but it's totally useless if you're only listening to one corner of the room. A great audit gets its power from capturing a whole range of perspectives. We're talking from the folks on the front lines all the way up to the C-suite. If you don't get that diversity, your findings aren't just incomplete, they're biased. And we all know that biased data leads to really bad decisions. And you see how this all keeps coming back to that one core idea? Trust. It's always about trust. If you want people to give you honest feedback, they have to feel safe. And that safety comes from transparency. They need to understand exactly how their input is being collected, how it's going to be analyzed, and what it's going to be used for. It's not just a nice to have, it's literally the price of admission if you want to get to the truth. Okay, that brings us to our third section. These are the pillars that are all about doing the audit with real integrity. This is the stuff that makes sure the whole process isn't just rigorous, but also ethical and, human. A really good audit isn't just a hunt for good news. That's easy. An effective audit is actively looking for the blind spots. Those hidden issues like a deep-seated resistance to change or a total communication breakdown between two key departments. A truly great audit is the one that finds the problems you didn't even know you were supposed to be looking for. And this leads to the absolute bottom line. Every single conclusion has to be backed by evidence-based rigor, no exceptions. It's the difference between making decisions based on real, verifiable data versus just going with a gut feel or a bunch of old assumptions. For an audit to have any credibility, it has to live firmly on the data side of that line. And wrapping up this section is the one pillar that acts like a moral compass for the whole thing: ethical oversight. Think about it. You're dealing with sensitive, personal feedback. You have a massive responsibility to protect people's confidentiality and make sure the process is fair for everyone. This isn't just some box you tick. It's the very thing that guarantees the integrity of the entire audit. So let's recap. You've laid a strong foundation, you've used the modern toolkit, and you've acted with complete integrity. The audit's done. The report is sitting on your desk. So, what now? This is where we get to the ultimate payoff. It's about turning all that hard work and all that data into real, lasting impact. And this brings us to the 10th and final pillar. Honestly, this is the one that makes all the other 9 worth doing. It's continuous improvement. Because here's the secret. A successful audit isn't the end of the road. It's actually the starting line for the next wave of growth. What's the goal here? It's to create this amazing, positive feedback loop. You learn from what the audit told you. You use those lessons to make your strategies even better next time. And when you do that, you're making the whole organization more resilient. This is how a one-off project becomes a real culture of building trust for the long haul. So I want to leave you with one final thought. Just imagine it. Your audit is done. The results are right there in front of you. After everything we've talked about today, what's the very first change you're going to make? Because that answer, that's where the real work and the real magic begins.